Battery life on smartphones are definitely one of the most deciding factors when purchasing these mobile devices. So in this video, I picked up some of the best devices around the same price point, having about the same battery capacities to test out how long they can last under heavy use. And so without taking much of your time, yo guys, let's get started. From left to right, as you can see, are the Redmi 9T with a 6000 mAh battery, the TECNO POVA here also with a 6000 mAh battery capacity, while the TECNO Camon 16 and the Samsung Galaxy A12 both come with 5000 mAh. But guys, before I move on with what has happened here and how it took me 24 hours to record this video, I'd really love to hear your predictions in the comment section. Which of these devices do you think would win this battery drain test, and in what order? I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. So I first off decided to run Instagram app for some time on these devices, and what I noticed was that the Samsung device over here took just a 2% dip in the battery life, as opposed to the 7% dip on the Redmi 9T, which is supposed to have 20% more battery capacity than the Samsung, leaving other devices in between at 96% for the POVA and 93% for the Camon 16. While I moved over to running a YouTube playlist for the next 1 hour, these devices were all connected to the same Wi-Fi network, with their Bluetooth and location turned on. Now that was 2 hours of running these devices, and I wonder what type of voodoo the Samsung had going on here, still fighting for the top percentage with the POVA. At this point, I decided to take things up a notch by recording videos on the smartphone's cameras. I had them run up for another hour. Obviously they couldn't record videos for 1 hour straight, so I had to restart the recording at approximately every 10 minutes until I had 3 hours on the clock up here. Now I wouldn't want to bore you guys with the whole process that went on here, but one thing to note is that I took the readings at an hourly interval, heck 30 minutes. I had to run the 3D benchmarking app from the Play Store on these devices for another hour, making it 4 hours of screen on time. You can see the battery percentages for the smartphones up there at this time. Okay, I decided to run the same camera test for another hour, that's one more time, to quickly drain the battery life on the smartphone, and man, it was tough. Before launching the Temple Run game for another hour, bringing the drain time to 6 hours. It was at this point I realized that the Redmi 9T, which was at the top of the battery capacity specs, was now at the bottom of the table. Not literally, you get what I mean. It had that 7% left on it, while the POVA of the same capacity had 60% charge on. You can see the Samsung and the Camon 16 with 43 and 40% battery life respectively. I had to rerun this same test yet again. Fast forward to 9 hours, and the Redmi was already begging for its life with 4% battery left on it, while the other guys from left to right had 37%, 11 and 12% respectively. But guys, at this point I was wonderstruck at the Redmi 9T's performance and how it was going to be the first device to go off. In my head, I'm wondering if it's bad software, a defective unit, but then I realized it had to power the biggest number of pixels since it has the highest resolution on its display. Oh, there it goes, it's dead at 9 hours and 17 minutes. Still left with 3 devices now from left to right at 34, 8 and 9%. You just wonder how the Camon 16 was able to pull this off. Something somehow makes me feel that Samsung kept the battery numbers up for a long time before giving us the real value. Maybe a software tweak from those folks, and before you know it, bam, the Samsung dies at 10 hours and 2 minutes, leaving the two TECNO devices at 29 and 2% respectively. Quite impressive. What else is there to say? That the TECNO Camon 16 died off 37 minutes later, leaving the TECNO POVA with a 25% charge. Now, one thing I noticed was that it took the Camon 16 25 minutes to drain that last 1% charge with the Temple Run game, and it was at that moment I realized that I was in for a beating from the POVA since it had 25% charge left. I wasn't wrong. I had to wait an additional 3 hours and 21 minutes before the TECNO POVA went off at 14 hours of screen on time in this test. So the results. At 4th position is the Redmi 9T, all thanks to that display. This wasn't expected, especially considering that it has a 6000 mAh battery. This device went dead at 9 hours and 17 minutes. Over to the 3rd position is the Samsung Galaxy A12. It came crumbling dead 45 minutes later after the Redmi 9T at exactly 10 hours 2 minutes. The second device here in terms of the battery would be the TECNO Camon 16. It took the device 10 hours and 39 minutes to go from 100 to 0% in this test, and that was 7 minutes after the Samsung went off. And at 1st position is the TECNO POVA with its 6000 mAh battery. This was very much expected, especially considering the device has an IPS LCD panel at HD resolution. It took it a whopping 14 hours, that's 3 hours 24 minutes after the Camon 16 to drain the battery. So guys, what were your predictions? Were they correct? Like this video if it did help, and thanks for watching. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Kobe that day.